Welcome to panel number 2 of our block of the month. Well, this was a new experience this month, but I hope everyone finished theirs. This is my panel for number 1, and I put panel number 1 up here on my interfacing because when we start to sew all these together, we're going to want to know where they go. So when you sew it, it shrinks down a little bit. This is number 2 underneath, so you'll see how the seams take up. So here is block panel number 2, because we have many blocks in this, don't we? So let's talk about how we put our little blocks. All of our blocks are 2.5. If we're cutting a block, it's 2.5. Our half square triangles are going to be 2.5 when we cut those, when we finish making those too. So everything is 2.5. So some people I've taught to did it by using the graphs. They would take fabric number A and put it everywhere on the graph by reading the graph numbers here where it goes. I prefer to do mine row by row, but it's whatever it makes it easiest for you. So now let's get started and see what's in our kit this month. We have a lot of fabric in our kit. So here is our kit that we get. And this is what we're going to make from our kit. So I've divided it up into what is on your instructions. So B and C, you're going to take your half square triangle from panel 1. You had one left over. B and D, you're going to put those two fabrics together and you're going to do your half square triangles. And we're going to talk about how to do those again. This 6-inch square is exactly the size it needs to be to make those. So we're going to use 4 of these and we're going to save 4, I'm sorry. So remember, and that's why you're going to save, because we're going to go back later in the panels and pick those up and use them. Then we have B and F. You're going to make 8. You're going to use 6 and save 2. B and G, you're going to make 8. You're going to use 1. Use all of those 8 and then 1 from panel 1. B and H, you're going to use all of them. B and I, you're going to make 2. There's 2 sets here, so you're going to make 2 sets, which will be your 14 and, no, 8. 16, you're going to make 16. So you're going to use 14 of them and save 2. You know, this high math gets me. So B and K, we're going to use 4 and save 4. B, D, and F, we're going to use 4 and save 4. E and G, we're going to use 2 and save 6. These are the pre-cut squares that you have that Ann cut for you. So on C, you've got 2, D1, H2, I believe, J1, and K1. And then up here are the strips, the fabrics that you're going to cut yourself. Your white, you're going to cut 4 strips from this, and it cuts exactly. You don't have to square this up or anything because Ann does such a great job. So just mark this, lay this out, cut you 4 2.5-inch strips, and then you're going to cut those strips into 2.5-inch squares. On your A fabric, you're going to cut 6 2.5-inch squares. And on the K, you're going to cut 8 2.5-inch squares. So once you get that all cut out, to help me keep mine, because there's a lot of squares there. So to help keep those in orders, I made this little chart. So all of my A fabrics, I put here. There's 6 of them. The 53 of your white squares and 8. And then 1 of the BC, 4 the BD, 4 the BF, 9 of the BG, BH, there were 8, BI, there's 14, BK, 4, DF, 4, and EG, 2. And then I would just, when it came to what I needed, I would just go to this chart and pull that one up. And so then I know when it's all done. It was just easier than having them all spread all over my table. So if you want to do that each month, it just makes it easier for me. Now, let's talk, and you will have your chart to look at those. But let's talk about these half square triangles. When you do those, we have our 6-inch squares. You're going to draw a line on the diagonal of both of these. Then you're going to sew a 1/4 inch on each side. Then you're going to cut here, here, here. Then measure in 3 inches, because this is a 6-inch square and you want it to go down the center, this way and this way. And that way you get 8 of the little half square triangles. Now when we go to square those up, because we want to cut our dog ears off and everything, you're going to use the diagonal on this. But you don't, if you will notice here, when you place this on the diagonal, it's not all the way up here, because this is a 2.5 inch ruler. So we're going to cut this right here. And this rotating map is amazing. So then we're going to move that, and we're going to put the diagonal here, and we're going to cut here. You're not going to cut much off. You're just squaring it up. See, that's all I cut off. But then when I put this back here, this is 2.5 exactly. It's 2.5 exactly here. But the diagonal is not on here. It is off a little bit. But that's okay, because we know that this is a 2.5 inch square. We know that we have put this on the diagonal and squared it up. So it is a perfect ruler to do that. So if you have any questions, just come by and let me help you with that. But when you put this on here, it's not going to be exactly on the end. Okay? I don't know why, but it's not. But it works great. All of those are perfect when you get them cut with this ruler. Now let's look at our block. We've used some of this, and so here's the top, panel 2, and you're just going to lay it out according to your chart. And happy sewing. If you have any questions, come see us at the Sewing Studio. On Mondays, we've been doing a block of the month. If you have questions, so come in. That's our social. Check the calendar and make sure we've got block of the month on there. Thank you.